Welcome, everybody, to the Breachers VRML. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am joined by my co-caster, Rip the Cord, to dive into Season 2, Week 7. Rip, how are you feeling about today's matchup?
We got a top team that has been undefeated all season versus our number 8 team. The book might have already been written on this one, but either way, it's going to be a fun experience, and you never know what's going to happen.
It is AESIR versus Olympus, and Olympus kind of getting their welcome to the league moment right now. You know, they've been playing well so far this season, getting up into that 8th tier, starting to break into the Master, and like, hey, you know, if you want to get at the top of this ladder, right, you have to be able to somehow beat AESIR. Right. No one's really figured it out yet. We haven't seen it happen this season. They lost a couple of times last season, so there's still 5 weeks left. I was just doing the math. We still got 5 weeks left, so there's still plenty of time for them to lose. Okay, so let's not, don't get your hopes down. Okay, there's still possibility that they're not going to go undefeated. If you're an AESIR fan, you're hoping that they will, though, because it is certainly a solid Season 2 for them. And I mean, they're like the real fan favorite to be advancing on to the VRML Con Grand Finals. You know, playing live on stage. So to the point, the votes 94-8. I think there's some hopefuls out there that Olympus will come out on top. And like you said, I mean, hey, anything could happen. You know, maybe Olympus has been doing their homework and is coming with some unique strats against AESIR this afternoon.
Yeah, anything has happened before. We've seen teams that we didn't think had a chance come up. But again, we noticed that the top 3 to 4 teams have a different play style than the rest of the league. The faster pace, they're more strategic. Communication seems a little bit more consistent. So it's interesting to see if Olympus can step up to that. Maybe they've been working on it, and they're about to show us something new.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You know, I just did a bit of content with Plunge this afternoon, and we went over one of, you know, I guess like hundreds of like meta nades and stuff. You know, it's the hatch nade down onto the server room on Factory. You know, and you throw the nade through the hatch and it bounces into the server room. He was showing me how to do that, and you know, it's the art of throwing a grenade alone is an art, you know, in and of itself, you know. And then he's trying to show you got to punch the nade down. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna punch it here, and he's like, yeah, he's pinging at a certain spot on the floor that I have to hit the nade on so that it bounces a certain way, and it's just like, oh, wow, these guys have really put in the time to practice their strats. And, you know, when you bring that together with then the experience of them playing together, and it's tough to go up against, to say the least. Olympus definitely got a large task in front of them, but we're here to see what's going to happen. AESIR has, I think, had 4 weeks of just domination, basically undocumented. You know, we haven't been in there watching them play. They've just been running away with big wins, 14-5, 14, you know, 6. It's 14-3, 15. You know, they are big wins right now, and it's like a streak. I think it's 5 games in a row that they've dominated. I wonder what the smallest gap in score is actually. If you're looking at the stats, Rip, what is it?
Yeah,
like?
So it's actually going to be the first game that you casted this season. It's going to be that 19-17 against A3, which A3 was the only team able to defeat them last year. Yep. So that tells you, and A3 is currently sitting at 2nd place. So
that was an unreal start to the season with that matchup, and I remember dropping. I was like, okay, we're off to the races. AESIR aspect, we're battling it out like this already. I mean, what is going to be happening at the midpoint of the season, which is right now, Week 7? What's going to be happening in Week 12? You know, what's going to happen in the Champions? What's going to be happening in postseason? We're not even really there yet. You know, this really is like the midpoint of the season, and so I think a lot of people, that's why there's a lot of votes on it, want to see where AESIR's at. You know, they want to see what AESIR is going to be bringing to the table at this point in the season, and Olympus is kind of a good test. Olympus has been putting in their time as well over the course of the season. They've had a couple of good wins on their belt as well. If you look at their record, they've got, I think, a win against Infinity on there, if I'm not mistaken, or Eternity, one of the two. Okay, I get them mixed up. Don't blame me if I get them mixed up. It's hard to remember.
They got a tie against Eternity, a tie.
Okay, a tie against Eternity. So then a win against Infinity?
Yes, 14-7 against Infinity. There you go.
But regardless, they've some good wins, teams that are skilled, but ultimately not a win against Aspect. You know, I think they had I think that was one of their losses, was maybe not Aspect, but one of those top 4 teams.
Yeah, they lost 14-5 to Aspect.
Yeah, and Aspect, again, just barely losing to AESIR, but 14-5 isn't terrible. I mean, I think Olympus will put up some points, likely to be pistol round 2s off of a reset, but I think they've got a shot of putting up some points here against AESIR. But yeah, I think we can expect AESIR to be bringing sort of the A game if they get a full roster. Not sure where the rest of the AESIR team is right now. We have Plunge, Determined Fear, and Lone Sigma currently in the lobby. I imagine Hotline will be jumping in there as well shortly, but maybe they're just warming up in the shooting range before they do get in. That was one thing I didn't ask, and I gotta start getting the questions out there for these top teams. But I do wonder what their practice schedule looks like, Rip. I gotta wonder what kind of commitment and what kind of regular sort of practice these guys are putting in.
So a lot of these teams, the top 3 teams at least, I can speak for A3 for sure. They scrim every single day, and sometimes it's multiple scrims a day. They usually have a 30-minute practice session before every big map, like the VRML map tonight, to warm up. But other than that, they're scrimming teams left and right, trying out new plays, changing up their speed, trying out a new pace. So it's a constant battle for these teams.
You know, I think that's what I love to hear. And, you know, I think one thing that really impresses me more than anything is how AESIR have expanded outside of Breachers. You know, we talk about VRML Con being a multi-league event where we got X8 and Vale and Onward all playing at that event. AESIR is one of those teams that's expanded out into X8, and they're doing pretty dang well. I just got to cast a match over there of one of the top squads, Enigma X8 versus Alpha X, and that was real fun. But AESIR is a dominant team over there, and the X8 side as well right now. So, you know, they're spreading out their knowledge and their skill at a high level, at least from the Breacher side, into other games, and it's showing to me at least that these guys are just skilled VR gamers. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter where you put them. At this stage, they've worked so well together that you can put them into any VR game, any shooter probably, and they're going to play it pretty competitively together. You know, I imagine that really could be true. You could put them into a game I imagine they haven't even played, and they'd probably be a pretty tough opponent to go up against. Yeah,
very true. Breachers is a pretty cross-versatile game. Like, it's a lot of breach and clear, named Breachers. You got to get in there. You got to have your strategy. You got to clear corners. But the gunfire and the aiming kind of go the same way with most games, besides maybe like Veil, where the aim's a little bit different or the recoil is different. But I assume most games are probably similar, so you could cross over pretty decently.
It does seem to be what we're seeing out of that AESIR roster, at least. And again, excited to get into the action this afternoon, as we do have everyone in a lobby. Over on the AESIR side, we do have Plunge, Determined Fear, Lone Sigma, Hotline, and Tech9 Junior. And over on Gods, that's their tags, but Olympus is Lumi, Determination, Dr. Turp, Brabadabato, and Edo. And I mean, this Olympus squad are no slouches. You know, you get up into the top 10, you're very good at the game of Breachers. You know what I mean? You've got a very solid understanding of the game, and you played pretty well together. And it really is like AESIR are kind of, in my mind, like the old school Yankees, you know, where it's just they were just so hard to root out at the high level for their run that they had. And well, they're going on to season 2 now, and they're looking as strong as ever. Really, I mean, that's I think the scariest part, right? Is they're looking as good as they ever have. They only losing in last season once or twice, but they're undefeated right now again in season 2. I mean, that's a lot of winning.
It is. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep that streak all the way to the live event, the VRML Con.
Yep. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it'll be a really good test to see how they perform live on stage. It does look like we are getting ready to dive into the action. Our first map of the afternoon going to take us to Factory. And a little bit of an awkward start for AESIR right now, Rip, as we only have 4 on the team right now. I think one disconnected right as we loaded in, so hopefully they'll be able to reset their game, jump back into lobby, and be here to support their AESIR team before the lobby starts. Otherwise, what a great fortunate bonus for Olympus, a 4v5 to kick things off on your pistol round. You really got to try and seize advantage of that.
It's either a bonus or it's a mental breakdown if AESIR's able to clear them out. You lose to a 4v5, it could go either way.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point. The bot is going to be pushing in, getting aggressive. They're going to hatch open pretty quickly. AESIR, a team that we really do know for their speed. Alongside, obviously, their coordination, this team very comfortable playing very fast. And I do think that the Olympus team are going to be very aware of that threat. They're going to be waiting for the aggression out of AESIR. And like I said, I do imagine that if you're going to be going up against AESIR, you're going to do a little extra homework as the first kill comes through from Hotline there. And you're going to try and do a little extra research on their play styles, how they like to push in on pistol rounds. The Determined Fierce flies through an immolation nade. Lumi able to catch the headshots as they enter in, but the nade cleans up Lumi on the backside. Hotline will find that kill. Edo flies up from the stairs to disrupt from a flank and catches the kill themselves, and the pistol round is non-stop action as Determination swings around. Like I said, I think if Olympus have a chance, it's on the pistol rounds. Down goes the plunge, and it leaves just Tech9 Jr. alone in a 1v2, Taurus in hand, and if there's ever a gun to do it with, the Taurus is it.
Yeah, we saw Edo sitting back a lot, waiting for that flank opportunity. Great idea from him, just to be able to play patiently and push in. I mean, you got AESIR down to one person. Tech9 did rejoin, so it's no longer a bot.
Oh yeah, that's true. I just realized that.
It's a pistol round, so I don't think we'll see a save. Yeah, here he goes. He's gonna go in right now.
He has to. EMP's already on the wall. Time is ticking. Minute 20 left. Kind of a lot of it, but the options on where to move are limited. They have Edo so tucked in. They swing around. There's one tap onto Determination. They can't drop back in time, and Edo pops out from their tucked-in corner. I mean, they were really scrunched back into that corner there to avoid detection. And as they spring out, it's definitely a surprise to the last attacker on the AESIR offense there. But hey, Olympus are in the lead out the gate. Ooh, I got to swap sides. I knew something was up there. Olympus are up 1-0, not AESIR. Most people would think AESIR are up 1-0 out this gate, but I mean, hey, a solid pistol round from the Olympus team, and like I said, that's where they're going to get their 4 or 5 rounds against AESIR if there ever was a space.
Yeah, Olympus up 1. That gives them a little bit of momentum going in. They got their first pistol round. Great teamwork seen there by Olympus, playing together. The long flank and being able to push and get the trades. Those trades were crucial moments. Being able to have someone at half health and then be able to finish them off. You're going to have to keep doing this, though, with AESIR, because if you let AESIR get any momentum on you, you know they're going to turn the tide over. But we're going to see the gadgets starting to come in pretty heavy on both teams now. Grenades coming out. We're seeing incendiary smoke grenades for Olympus, all spectrals for the second round, with one Jesper from Determined Fear.
I just, again, did the... It's funny that we go to this map, this objective for a second one. We'll see if Plunge is the one to throw the nade. I don't think they will be. They're the drone operator, is what they said for their squad. And right now, we're operating that drone. If an immolation nade comes up and out of the hatch, not before Hotline finds a kill and loses half of their HP, they'll throw that hatch nade down through the hatch. It doesn't go into server room like they wanted to, and so for now, Lumi and the rest of the defense that's inside their Edo will survive inside the hatch. A counter nade comes out. Tech9 pushing up, challenging inside the server room. Action unfolding round 2. It's another eco round, so it's all pistols battling it out here as Tech9 crouches down. A beautiful smoke comes in to deny vision, and Tech9 gets the EMP planted. I don't know if they did or not under the chaos. An immolation nade might have killed them in time. I think they did get it planted. Smokes are out. Nades are down. Edo's trying to defuse, and they've got 1, 2 up on the hatch to defend. Hotline finds another. If you blink, you'll miss the action as long as the lone flies down for a double. Saves the round for AESIR. And now I can take a breath. Oh, man, let me take one. Holy cow. Rip, what do you got off of that?
Yeah, a lot of action right there at the last moment. So that trip by and placement I did see by Olympus, that was very awkward. Have not seen it. It was outside of the B site going towards the restroom. Not something I'm used to seeing. But Olympus did hold on pretty well there. They had some crucial angles and were able to make trades. But once you get that bomb planted, AESIR has the opportunity to just go up to the hatch and hold. So you have to make a play on whether you want to fight them on the stairs or you want to fight them through the hatch. Chose the hatch, and you lost that battle. There's nothing more to say about that round, but we're going to see full Vez and buys coming out for this round. So this is where you're going to see the aim and the fights getting a little bit more intenser, probably get a little bit faster paced as well. Great grenades coming out from both teams. We saw the hatch throw, like you said, and those gadgets are really difficult. You have to know how the grenade bounces, where to put it, which way to throw it. Is it overhand, underhand? Is it a straight punch like you were talking about? There's so many different ways to throw grenades in this game, and every one of them makes a difference.
I mean, I don't know how they got the immolation nade just to arc right up to the top. I mean, that's a very perfectly momentum throw to hit that hatch like they did. But, yeah, chaos unfolded there. And, I mean, I think the MVP was the smokes of that play. It allowed for the plant and ultimately denied the defuse. A really good job, again, from AESIR. All repping their VRML finalist skin from last season as they barrel into sight, finding several kills. Lone Sigma is absolutely charging ahead, and Tech9 Hotline, oh my goodness. It's a crime. The AESIR team with 5 alive don't even give maybe more than a minute's time for the Olympus team to work.
We're starting to see that separation. that fast-paced separation coming in from AESIR there. 5 men alive. They're going to get in there, play fast with those Vezins. And now Olympus doesn't have Vezins. They could buy a few, but they're choosing to save here, which is a smart play overall for the economy. You want to try to save up and be able to buy for multiple rounds instead of just one. You still have a couple more rounds before the switch, and you want to get as many defense rounds you can against AESIR. But AESIR's going to be able to pull out all the gadgets, drones. They got everything they need. Hill and syringe. It's going to be an uphill battle for Olympus this round.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one. That was a Lone Sigma. You look down at the KDs right now, 7-1 on 3 rounds. They are playing very good, getting some big clutch multi-kills in these last few rounds in particular. That is putting AESIR into these quick 2-1 lead that we have right now. We go into our next objective, right back down to the same middle floor that was won so quickly off a nice plant and defend. As we do have a bit of a brawl, it feels, up in this top floor. Hotline will shut down Lumi, identified by the drone work and plunge as they analyze that locker room. There we go. Sometimes you can forget the terminology of things as we do get set up for another push. Here comes that hatch nade tossed down into the server. Beautiful toss all the way to the back of the server, but look at Ito. They've tucked into a shorter corner. They'll get picked off, though, as the wall gets exploded open. Hotline finds their kill and comes flying in, scooping up one. Where's Dr. Turd on the back and dead? I mean, this AESIR team is so confident in their ability to shoot, and I just don't. Flashbangs? What's the fix? What's the solution to slow them down? Because they are just barreling through the offense, the defense when they do push in.
Yeah, the solution's gonna be swinging together. You got to make it a 2v1 instead of 1v1s. You're losing all your 1v1s with AESIR. They're so confident in their gunplay that they're ego pushing, and they're getting those kills. We're also down to a bot on the Olympus side as well, so that's another disadvantage for them. But yeah, if you want anything, you've got to control the pace. You have to be able to push them before they push you. You swing together, try to make it a 2v1 situation. That way, if one person dies, you get the trades like you did in the first round. And try to slow them down with grenades and gadgets as much as you can. You don't usually see many flashbangs come out, but it could help.
I mean, that was also their eco round, worth noting, right? That they were on pistols there going up against a fully kitted out AESIR team. So now, this round and the next round, they'll be full buying here, and the next one if they lose even. And so it should be rifles for until we swap sides and reset economies. So it should be a little harder. Again, of course, with a bot on your roster, it's not exactly going to be easy. A beautiful elimination nade really chips down Determined Fear. Dr. Turt catches one, a beautiful trip mine, scoops up another from Bravo Debato as the drone comes in and identifies Turt out in the corner. It's going to allow Tech9 to push forward confidently and look for more kills. They don't find determination, but they do get support from Lone Sigma over the top. Finally, a refrag from Bravo Bato, but like you said, it's the team coordination, the multiplayer swings, and the refrags that come in so quickly from this AESIR team. It's 4-1, and I mean, yeah, like you said, the script has maybe already been written before the start of this series. Again, you look at the connoisseur votes, I think it was 90-8, 94-8, you know, which is great. I love to see all the participation. Keep getting in on those votes. It does help to see, but I mean, if anyone was expecting anything to change from AESIR between Season 1 and now, it doesn't seem to me that it has. If anything, again, I think they're looking better than they were 3 weeks ago when I watched them last, which is like crazy to say. It's like, well, how is that possible? Because now they were beating Aspect, who's number 2. You know, it's like you said, determination. There's probably a lot of practice going on. You know. Yeah,
they just keep ramping up and keep getting better, like you say. But watch closely, because you're seeing AESIR. There's a lot of times that they're baiting those plays. Like someone will come out and swing, and there's already someone else watching those angles. This is one of the oldest maps in Breachers, so they know this like the back of their hand. This is one of their maps.
Lumi trying to get a little bit crazy on the push out, maybe trying to shut down some early drone work, but AESIR safe and sound on the top floor. Quickly deny that option. They'll open up that hatch, and we go back again to this middle floor objective. Nade tossed down. AESIR hotline flies into their quick death. Sigma's down and gets killed by that immolation nade and the fire through the smoke. Turret picks up one with a trip mine, and AESIR in their aggression are getting caught out by utility. That's been the key here on this round for Olympus. They've been denying them with immolation nades, static emitters, trip mines. The static emitter again slowing down Tech9. A really awkward spot to be put into. Really never see a static emitter behind the cooler like that. But it definitely was effective in slowing down the hatch drop, through the doorway in particular, where they had immolation nades going, and again, extra bits of utility, trip mines and smokes to deny vision and put rounds through. A really nice, I mean, truly nice reaction from the Olympus defense to adjust after losing 2 rounds here on this objective. Well, it's not over yet. We're not done quite yet. They haven't not lost just yet, but they certainly have done better to react. As I do say that, AESIR flies in here. Tech9 feeling confident, not afraid to expose himself, because again, they've got their support network there. Plunge on the backside, and Plunge connects with their shots. This AESIR team, I mean, even in the bot, even in the bot lobby with Plunge, it was kind of remarkable how quickly they're hitting the shots on the corners. And it's like, I couldn't, I would be following right behind him, and I'd turn and there'd be a guy dead, and I'd be like, I'd shoot as they're following, and he's already killed him with 4 headshots. It's just like the reaction speed of these players too is quite impressive, and it's on display on that round.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, is your consistency with your aiming, and as well as that reaction time. Be able to just turn around on instant and be able to hit someone. But again, you're seeing AESIR pushing together a lot better than the Olympus team here. A lot of times Olympus is trying to take on one player at a time, but they're getting double swung by AESIR, and it needs to be the other way around. Olympus needs to be able to do that to AESIR to be able to get any more points. We did see them take the first pistol round. They have a chance to take another round here with a pistol. We're going to get spectrals, gadgets. Those utilities are proving to work against AESIR. You got several trip mines. The smoke grenades are cutting off the vision, the grenade kills. You got to keep pushing, do whatever you can to window down on this AESIR team.
Yeah, you really do. You got to keep the pressure on with the utility, and well, it's all about the utility. As a nade does come in and catch determination out. Olympus getting caught out by the utility here. Tech9 barrels in through a smoke, but finally goes down. And AESIR have lost 2. Unlike the health bars of this Olympus offense, though, they're much more healthy. And a trip mine and a few more bits of rotating, and the lives of the remaining Olympus offense.
Yeah, there you go, Route.
There for good measure, and a 6-1 lead. We coming up on map point here for AESIR.
Yeah, potential 7-1 coming up for AESIR, like you said. Olympus had some false hope there at the beginning. They were getting a lot of kills. They had the AESIR team on the run or it seemed like they had them on the run for a second, but AESIR able just to turn that around, play aggressive, and show you who they are. Again, with the fast reactions, the consistency with the aims, they play together. they're really good about covering each other's angles. One player dies, but that player is never left without a trade.
Right.
I mean, Olympus, this is a great learning opportunity. You probably will lose at this point, but either way, take this moment. This is a top team. This is the number one team, undefeated. Figure out why they're undefeated. You're playing against them. Take it and try to make it into some of your own play works and push forward, and maybe we'll see you in the top 3 eventually.
Look at that static emitter placed practically underneath the crate there, making it very hard to hit if you are trying to get rid of it. That emitter was, I think, the emitter that caught several kills that last round and ultimately won, or got close to winning Olympus their second point. But into our second round of the reset we go. So still pistols for the most part. There is a rifle on Tech 9's side as well as a Knut in Determined Fear's hands, and obviously bits of utility here and there to be a threat. And that's certainly a big threat. AESIR are hitting their utility tosses. They are, I imagine, very rarely going to miss their utility tosses at this stage. You really have to be able to react well enough. And there's a nice kill over the top. Dr. Turk catches one. A nice nade that catches half HP down on the Sigma, and Tech 9 going to 75%. A good bit of damage done. Ooh, a nice wall bang to push them down to their remaining 50. Another nade from Dr. Turt that does the work. Hotline flies up with the rifle, though, and that's going to be the big threat. Counter nades, determination, the Knut, the hero, comes through to save the day, and Bravo Debato trying to get the rifle in hand, but now they got a rifle and a Knut they're going up against in a 1v2. Oh, the retakes, the coordination, ooh, and ultimately the final kill there from Plunge coming in. It is impressive to see from AESIR, and it's done in a matter of minutes. Like you said, the last time AESIR played, it was, I think, a 45-minute series, and quite frankly, we're heading that way at this pace this afternoon. Like I said, Olympus getting a welcome to the league moment right now. You know, there are tiers to the VRML for a reason. And it is because those tiers include more levels of challenge. You know, the obviously bronze to silver to gold is different than, you know, diamond, which is different than master. You know, there's I wouldn't say significant skill gaps, but it is there. You know, there's a lot more knowledge in some of these players' hands than others, and I mean, Olympus has been around with some players on their roster since the preseason, so they also have that experience. It's just they haven't necessarily been together since the preseason. You know, this AESIR roster isn't the same one it was in season 1, but it does have obviously some of those same elements that made it as strong as it was in season 1, and so you know, again, they are it's important to remember that when you're watching this AESIR team, what seems to be kind of steamroll their opponent, it is because they are a very good team. They are number 1 in North America. They are undefeated right now. We look at that matchup history, 6-0 in the regular season against the opponents they've gone up against is impressive. You know, Olympus 5-3-3, a very solid record. And as you climb up into the higher, tiers, you do go up against better opponents. And this week, Olympus got matched up with the number 1, and they'll likely be going, back down out of that top 8. But when you get a taste of the top 8, it's hard not to want to come back.
Right,
It's what keeps you out of the Challenger Cup at the end of the day. If you can get up into that 7th spot, and so they're close to avoiding what is a long weekend of gameplay at the end of a season. They're close to skipping through that. They almost have things figured out on their side, but it's also to be determined. That was just a quick map 1. Let's see what happens on map 2. We'll see what the picks go. But for now, a quick shout out to our sponsors, Triangle Factory, coming in and supporting the VRML for this season, as well as flying out the top 2 North American finalists to VRML Con. You can get your tickets to that if you want to go watch these players play live on stage at the convention July 20th and 21st. You head over to vrml.com/VRMLCon. You can buy your tickets right now. You can expect to see me and Gabriel Bob at the very least out out there. I'm sure we'll see a bunch of others from the team out there as well, and so it'll be a really good community meetup event, and I can't recommend it enough. We'll shout out the rest of our sponsors in a brief moment when we go in between rounds, but for now, we are getting ready to dive back into the action. These teams eager to play, no waiting around as we get prepped to go to a new map, not one where there's as much experience, and head to Arctic. And Rip, if you're on Olympus, you're probably thinking a lot like you were in terms of, hey, Factory's tried and true. They know that map better than any map. Let's try to go somewhere where they maybe don't have that level of experience, and Arctic is going to be that place.
Well, the funny thing is, if you look at statistics, this is Olympus's favorite map, their best map statistically, but this is AESIR's number 2 map. So I don't know how much of an advantage this is actually going to give them, unless they just have these new plays that are unexpected from the AESIR team. We did get a sub out with Impala coming in on the Olympus team. We'll have Spectrals going in, all for the Olympus team, and then AESIR is going to be taking in a Cyclone that we have been seeing a lot more frequently. They could change things up.
There's a beauty in VR in that you can throw things to each other. But what we just witnessed was someone tossing their breaching foam through the stairs. And so it's out of bounds and unusable, so they're down 1 breaching foam, unfortunately, on the Olympus side. A unfortunate tactical mistake there, and Determined Fear, maybe not necessarily capitalizing on that, but pushing up, getting aggressive, and catching some kills through the smoke, through the utility, and an early 2-piece that puts the Olympus into a 3v5. Grab trying to get some damage done on Determined, but gets shipped apart. EMP down off of the headshot. Ito on the back end catches the kill themselves, and Dr. Turt looking for some level of aggression. Ito finds another as they push in. A nice pinch. Ito and Dr. Turt here to fight, but not for long, as the Lone, Sigma, and Blunge clean things up. It feels like those two have pretty consistently been the last survivors for the AESIR team, and maybe that's part of the strategy. You know, they kind of invest their other 3 a little bit more aggressively, and those are always sort of the either scouting, you know, Plunge is either doing the drone work or clearly holding the back line. I'm not sure if that's really the case, but that's more than the 3rd time they've been the final 2 in a round, you know.
Yeah, they're very consistent, and I mean that's AESIR team. They're a consistent team. They play well together, and they've always done well together. That's why they are undefeated. That's why they play so aggressive, and they're not afraid to swing you. And then what we just saw there, you had one of the AESIR guys Determined, just sitting back, waiting for them to breach in, able to get 2-piece with the Cyclone, showing how fast the fire rate that is. He was able to get both of them before they could even turn around. So it's just map knowledge, knowing where to sit and playing patiently for this AESIR team. But then they get aggressive towards the end and just capitalize on trying to catch you off guard and change that pace up on you. So Olympus has got to figure out how to swing together, play together just a little bit better, use those gadgets that you were using during the first map to try to make something go your way.
Another bit of a disadvantage round for Olympus, too, as they are coming off of that pistol round loss, and there is a rifle into the Lone Sigma's hands. They've been shooting well so far today, and so I don't expect that to change. I don't imagine AESIR expects that to change. That's why they've given them the rifle. Hotline here, trying to find some information down the long hallway, and gets it as some shots come through and are missed. And Lone considering trying their hand at peeking out and finding some kills, if they're fortunate enough, if this Olympus team is desperate enough to continue to peek. It's just pistols in their hands, and I don't know about the long one of the most long range fights you could pick against a rifle is not ideal, but they do have 2 here. Again, that's kind of been the big element. Actually, there's 3 that are going to be fighting this. As Impala decides to commit to pushing forward, Dr. Turt's going to be on the Overwatch, and Impala does get farther up. Good shots there that connect and do big damage. AESIR with Plunge and Lone both low are going to need to step back and use their health syringes. The nade was saved and beautifully rolled to the foot of Impala for a pickup there, half health. onto Dr. Turt, and man, the skill with the utility is on display this afternoon from both sides. Truly, we're seeing some very good utility usage, and I mean that's I think what's been standing out to me more than ever in these top tier games, especially in these later weeks, is the utility is the MVP.
Yeah, I believe that you talked about it before. We're in a utility meta here as Ito pushes in and gets a double piece.
Hey,
Wow.
Pretty good. Plunge goes down too, and AESIR getting picked apart. This is the eco round for Olympus. This would be a big comeback round for them to get onto the board. They'd actually have economic control going into the next round. They'd have another rifle or two up against AESIR if AESIR lose here. So actually, I think AESIR's managed their economy just well enough that it's not going to be that big of a problem. But regardless, we're pushing into B site here. This team moving together and finally taking a round on Arctic. It's been, I think, 8 unanswered rounds since their first point they scored on Factory, and that was, again, their eco round. They're coming out of that with a rifle in their hands, a health syringe, and a nade into the next round. That's a good bit of cash swung around to their side.
Correct. You denied AESIR being able to have a full Vezin round here, while you're able to pick up 4 Vezins of your own. So you're equaling the playing field a lot. But to finish my thought, I've heard you talk about the other day, utility meta is what we're looking at. And it's very much so. You've seen a lot of these bigger teams, the top 3 teams, that they'll go for a smaller buy and able to buy that grenade or get that gadget instead of getting their attachment sometimes. And it just shows how important a grenade or a smoke grenade or a door block or whatever it is can be. I mean, grenades, you can use them to deny a spot where you know someone might be waiting for you to push in, or you can throw a incendiary grenade in there and try to rope them off. There's so much you can do with the gadgets, and we've been seeing a lot coming out from both teams with these gadgets, and we're going to be seeing Olympus buying into that gadget right now. So let's see if they can use that to push in another round.
Yeah, they've got the utility on their side. Foam, nades, immolation, frags, drones. It's all here to help them work against the AESIR defense, who is pretty comfortably tucked in. I don't know. They're really enjoying the picture in the bedroom there instead of defending, but maybe it's just the confidence in the rest of the team that's holding this front line as Tech is here in the forward piece, and I think that's really is what it comes down to, is the confidence in your other teammates. Tech9's job is to be the initial element of attack. So is Sigma. As Sigma goes down on that backside, Tech9 Jr. here is still, again, the aggressor. They're all communicating information to the rest of the team. As Tech9 gathers details, they explain it to the rest of the AESIR squad, and the rest of AESIR reacts on it or not. As the breach comes in here, though, I feel like AESIR's a bit out of position. With Hotline here down this long hallway, Turbine Fear also here. The smoke denying vision. The Hotline's going to go down, and Tech9 tucked into the tight corner in the smoke. EMP is planted. Tech goes down to the smoke and plunges alone in a 1v4. They're picked up, in Olympus, for the first time in this series, have taken the lead. No, second time. They took it 1-0 on their pistol round. For the second time this series, they take a 2-1 lead. That's this AESIR economy is in shambles right now, and Olympus have another advantage round coming up here.
Yeah, you just got to keep putting that pressure. If you're Olympus, you take full advantage of this opportunity. This is the first time you've gotten 2 rounds in a row, so you got to take advantage of that. You're going to see them buy into all the utilities. I don't know if AESIR was just playing really spread there, or if they weren't ready for that push. But Olympus did a really great job of getting in there and getting that flank lone Sigma off of the map right away. That changes your thing. You don't have to worry about your back anymore. You can focus in your front. And then you saw them holding angles and playing angles and winning these angles against AESIR to take that round. So great job. We saw a lot of utility. That drone's going to come out here in about 10 seconds. Hopefully get some good intel and another solid push hopefully coming out from Olympus, as they have AESIR at a disadvantage economy-wise.
Impressive. A double drone coming in here. I think they threw 2, didn't they? Yeah, I think they did.
Yes.
2 drones coming in to try and push up and gather information on this defense that's tucked into B right now, as Tech9 and Hotline are getting a little bit of aggressive here. There's immolation there. The zone. It's crazy how they're the offense is using immolation nades to zone the defense off, and I think that's a really nice bit of utility usage coming in from the Olympus team. They're really slowing down. That's how they're slowing down the AESIR. It's not flashes, it's immolation nades, and I didn't think that would be the tool to be the one that slows them down, but it certainly has been. And how often it works is certainly up to debate, but it's found them a couple of good opportunities so far, as Lone Sigma is pushed very far up here, getting very aggressive. Ito cloaked will find the back of Lone off of that breach, kind of drawing their attention over towards A, and now Determined Fear up next on the aggressor sort of defensive list here. Pushed pretty far forward and tucked in and waiting for this offense to come and push up. Determined Fear could just swing a touch and they'd have an easy headshot on a Dr. Turk, but they just don't quite have the angle. They are just barely missing the barrel of Dr. Turk there. And Turk will push out, finally go down. Determined Fear has plenty more to go though. And they'll run into the rest of the Olympus offense. 4v3 right now with a minute 30 left, and Olympus looking good on the setup outside.
Yeah, making you wonder if they heard us earlier. They're playing a lot better together, but Plunge able to get in there and clean up two. And Paula getting the tray with onto Hotline. Ooh, it's going quick.
Yeah, chaos on the back line. The retake from the defense pays big dividends, and Plunge here's Ito using this utility. They'll catch their back and clutch the round for AESIR. I mean, not easy for AESIR to win that round. A hard-fought set there. And I think now we go to pretty much even economies because AESIR is going to get a rifle out of that and almost be able to full buy. Olympus still at a bit of an advantage overall economy-wise, but man, what a fight there. Oh, I mean, Olympus are reading AESIR really well right now, and I think that's what's getting them these points and getting them as close as they have in these last few rounds.
Correct. And like we said at the beginning, this is Olympus's best map. Statistically, with our VRML logs, this is the best map. They've won the most rounds on this. So maybe it's just coming down to map knowledge. They are confident with their pushes, and that confidence is allowing them to get these plays. I mean, taking 2 rounds on a team like AESIR, that's a big deal. But you got to keep fighting. Don't give up. You're still at a slight advantage, but if you lose this round, you give AESIR all the advantages.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, it's going to be tough to avoid a 4-2 if they can't take this one here. This is their chance at least pushing this 3-3. It would be crazy if they took a 4-2 offensive half against AESIR on Arctic. I would be very impressed with Olympus if they can string that together. And quite frankly, they've got an opportunity, one that they really didn't have in Factory because they just weren't able to get their footing on that against that AESIR squad. Here on Arctic, they certainly have a much better chance as those utility nades connect very nicely. The smoke's going to come all the way up and deny vision. Hotline nearly goes down, to the flank from the back end. Ito and Determination working really nicely off of the aggression from the other side. A great coordination from Olympus on the offense. They are in sync here. Really showing a bit better of an understanding on Arctic, it feels like, as that nade comes in and will catch Impala. That's the key. The nade tosses this afternoon. They've been the MVP for Bo's squad, but Olympus are at an advantage now. As they swing out, they lose that advantage. Regather it 3-2. It's up to AESIR with Tech9 and Determined Fear to hold things down in a 2v3. Site being pushed at A, and they do not have the defense there. Everyone's stacked up over at B. Determined Fear and Tech9 both over there. No health syringes, so Determined is going to remain at 12 HP. And look what Olympus are doing. They're redirecting all of the weapons. And quite frankly, this is a big, high-level, smart play to be doing right now because they are not going to allow Determined Fear at Tech9 to carry anything through to the next round. It doesn't necessarily matter, but they don't know that. They don't know what the rifle loadouts are for this AESIR squad. They don't know that maybe one of the, there was one pistol user in that 5, so maybe Determined and Tech9 are using a pistol. They want to deny the rifle to them, so they've chucked it out of bounds for the defense. High-level play as they have the time, and I love to see that. The rotation here seems to be now over towards B, and that's where AESIR is waiting for this push to come into. So I don't know if it's going to have to be their best chance at pushing in and getting a plant to move to B. I feel like they had A kind of in their advantage, but for now at least, with another 40 seconds left, they're going to have to make a choice soon.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to rotate together here and play together. Even if the first player goes down to Tech 9, take some health, and then finish him off, and you got the last player with no health. Just like that, they take down, and exactly what I said. Wow. Play together, you take down Tech 9, and the last player has no health. So there you go. You capitalize on it. I'd like to point out, too, the last 4 rounds, Olympus has gotten the first kill. So AESIR has died first for the last 4 rounds. And it's most of those devs have been getting shot in the back, too. So Olympus is doing a great job. Ito especially, I think he was going 8-4 right now. He's been able to work his way around the AESIR team and catch them off guard, which is getting them a free kill and putting their numbers at an advantage right from the start. Crucial round, though, for them. Crucial round.
I mean, 3-2 on Arctic on offense, that's a very good start against AESIR. I mean, we're not even to the side swap yet. They have a real chance of going 4-2 right now on their offensive set, going then over to defense and only needing to put up 3 defensive rounds to take a map against AESIR. Aspect's been the only one, I think, that's taken a map even against AESIR so far this season.
Correct. And again, you're seeing Olympus here at a full advantage as they're able to fully buy, and you have the AESIR team again at a half save round, pulling out RSPs and Omens to try to make something work. They did lose the last time AESIR was on a save round like this, but Olympus wins this. They can get a 4-2 to go into the next half, and that's huge to be able to go into defense with the lead.
Arctic is a curious map, though, in that I don't really know where it lies on the advantage chart. Is it a offensive advantage map? Is it a defensive favored map? I feel like I've been saying it's the most 50-50 map they've made, at least. So,
correct.
In my opinion, there's real opportunity for AESIR to get right back into this, even if they do go down 4-2. And so Olympus still have a task ahead of them, regardless of how this round unfolds. And if it goes 3-3, then they're really not out of the woods by any means. The drone there really interestingly driven underneath a few different pieces of structures there inside the site to kind of cloak its movements and ultimately get a little bit of information for Impala to react off of. They come flying in and the audio transmitter prompting some shots through the wall, and most of those shots do connect. Olympus losing 2 in that chaos. Was that a trip mine on the backside that got that kill?
It was grenade.
Oh, a nade toss that pulled down the hallway. And again, the utility, the MVP in these eco moments. And like you said, quite frankly, maybe it's why they should be more worried about AESIR when it is a partial buy, because they know that the utility is going to be coming their way.
Right.
That's sort of the main dish. It's nades and smokes, still a threat, still in the arsenal of AESIR. They still got 1 on Determined Plunge and 2 smokes here to work with. So Olympus not out of the woods yet. Ito getting a big kill helps a lot. I don't know where they got that kill, on the flank it looks like, but it turns it into a 3-3.
Yeah, they did a great job there watching their flank. Determined Fear was almost able to come up behind them, but they caught that off guard and able to deny that free kill.
Left on the clock, wall opens up, shots coming through, hotline gets a bit of action. Ito in the smoke, cloaks their way past and gets to the back line, finding a couple of kills there. They're the last survivor up against Tech 9 as the pings come through and they connect. Beautiful play from Ito that nets them a 4-2 victory in the first half against AESIR, in the lead by 2. Not what we expected this afternoon. Quite frankly, not what anyone expected. 90-8 in favor of AESIR on the connoisseur votes this afternoon. I don't think anyone was anticipating Olympus to be winning this anything today.
Yeah, I guarantee a lot of people were hoping for a 14-0 sweep here from AESIR, but Olympus definitely putting up a good fight here. We're going to go into the next pistol round, switching sides. So, like you said earlier, it is a very 50-50 map. It is what the teams make it.
Yeah.
This play style, especially when you get up to that pro status, the top 3 status.
Yeah.
Most maps are however you play. If you're very good, if you're very good at attack, you can make a defensive map and attack map for you. So It doesn't really make a difference. But with this map alone, it's the biggest one that you notice that if a team is strong on attack, they can take it. If they're just really strong on defense, it can go either way. So there's still a lot of work in here for Olympus. They can't relax yet.
Oh, yeah.
They are up 4-2. They need 3 more rounds to take the map, but it's not over until the lady sings.
I mean, heck, we've talked about a 5-1 curse where you're up 5-1, you can't get the final 2 points. It's a real thing in this game, and Olympus got to be real careful about getting overconfident, about really not respecting the threat of AESIR to come back, because like you said, it's right there. There's a possibility as Tech9 just barely gets across the main hallway there with their live half HP gone. The drone going to come in to assess their entry into B to make sure it's safe before they do. And I think Determination cut the drone through the wall there. A very nice job. Notice the nade to push back the offense so they can then get rid of the emitter. A counter nade from Determination to catch a kill. Another nade punched down by Hotline as Hotline pushes up to find Dr. Turt. They're going down on the backside as the refrag comes through. That was a team kill from Brab, actually, over the top. And as Impala surprises the AESIR offense, it could be another pistol round into their hands. Brabadabato makes sure it is. Olympus 5-2 on Arctic. They are 2 points away from taking the second map against AESIR all season long right now. They are the 8th seed overall. If you look at the regular season ladder, it doesn't get much more of a disparity than this. And quite frankly, this is why we tune into matchups like this, because who knows what could happen. Olympus are absolutely playing out of their I mean, they're playing very good. I think that's what's the deterministic factor. They're connecting with their shots. They're finding the early picks. And they're looking, I think, more coordinated than they were on Factory.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of the map factors into that, because Arctic is a different map. They're a newer team, so they've had a lot of work on probably these newer maps, hoping that they can take some kind of advantage over these teams that have been here for a while. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. They're up 5-2. Haven't seen it in a while, but they are having a chance against this AESIR team. Their gadget placements, their trades, they are working together well as a team. The flanks coming in and getting several kills. All this is coming together to make a great Olympus team right now during this map. And AESIR, they're not out of it yet, but they are playing a little more slack than we have seen in the last map. But they still have a chance coming in with a full Jesper round.
I mean, blink and they'll have the tie game. You know, it's you gotta get careful every bit of the way against AESIR. The 5-2 still not comfortable enough. They have to continue to execute like they have been, and it's not easy. The consistency, like you said, with AESIR, a real deterministic factor in why they're as good as they are. Well, maybe Olympus can get a little bit consistent here on Arctic, at least consistent enough for the next 2 rounds, and they could really well take a map here against AESIR, which would be, I think, more than anyone would expect out of Olympus right now. Quite frankly, I'm not terribly surprised, because I do believe anyone in the top 10 is super competitive in this game. But
yes,
I after how crazy Factory went, I really felt like we were going to be in and out of here in 2, and we still could be. I'm not counting out the AESIR team yet. You can never count out the AESIR squad, but it is definitely in Olympus's favor right now, as Turt will find another early kill to open things up for Olympus, leading the charge there with the 1 rifle. Pretty risky to do, because if they go down, it's a rifle into the hands of the opponent, and down they go. Determination quickly scoops it up, drops it back in to objective site, and that's the indicator for AESIR to push. They do their best, but they push into an aggressive Olympus defense. 3 left alive at full health, and Tech9 says, I'm not going to make my way through there. This is another round into Olympus's hands. I don't see how Tech can bounce back through this one. They got a minute left. They're going to rotate. They have foam, so maybe open up a hatch, try and catch a kill through the top. If you're lucky, it's a rifle. It's in your hands. You've got a 1-2 that you have to connect with. It's a huge comeback they're going to have to string together. And, well, if there's ever a team or a player to do it, it would be a player on AESIR. Tech9 shooting well last map, but having a bit of a challenge here on Arctic. 2-7, 6 assists. And, well, we'll see if they can put 2 more on the board. 30 seconds left. Do you think Oh, a push is actually in order here for Tech9, or are they just kind of roaming around right now?
They're probably going to try to go for a peek. It looked like they're about to go for that hatch that you were calling out until they got spotted by the proximity mine. They don't have anything really to save, so going for a peek and trying to help your economy out is most likely your best play. But he's going to come up to these trip mines and die to Ito.
Nice little coverage there, reading that rotation, and ultimately, if they wanted to push forward, they'd have to get rid of the trip mines, which would draw their aim away from the defender in the corner. And we go, what the heck, to map point 6-2 Olympus, a round away from taking Arctic and pushing us to a map 3 decider for Olympus versus AESIR this afternoon. It's again, not what the connoisseurs expected, not what I was expecting, and it's not. Actually, matter of fact, we're guaranteed a third map now. They put 6 on the board, so we are headed to a third map no matter what AESIR does. Even if they put up 4 rounds in a row right now and tie this thing up, it is still going to go to a third map. Of course, AESIR will have a slight advantage from winning map 1, but that's only if they tie. That's only if they put up 4 consecutive wins in a row. Maybe now is the time. They finally got rifles in their hands, and it's kind of felt like it's been a couple of rounds since they've had their economy under their foot.
I think that's the biggest downfall for the AESIR team this map is, again, the economy has not been in their way. Olympus was able to start off really strong with weapons, but you're correct. This is the first time we're seeing full, well, not the first time, but this is the first time in a long time we're seeing full Vezins on both sides. Except for Brabadoba. He's still got a Spectral, so you still have 1 man down on the Olympus team.
Appreciate everyone stopping by, hanging out, and enjoying the action this afternoon. It's been a quick, action-packed couple of maps so far, and happy to say we're headed to a third map, guaranteed at this point, so there's at least another 30, 45 minutes of action as the nade comes in. The push determined fear off the angle. Static emitter will slow them down a touch as well, but the wall opening up enables a different entry point. Turns it into a 1-for-1 trade, and Brad's going to toss an immolation. They just slow down the entry. It doesn't deter Tech9 from swinging, though. They'll catch the kill. That audio transmitter disrupting them a touch, but not enough. There's Impala swinging down the long hallway on the flank and catching 1. Not more than 1, though, and it's still a 2v2 now, as on the backside, Plunge and Sigma have managed to take control of A site. Oh, what a great angle from Plunge. Up on top there, catches the headshot. Now it's a 2v2. I misspoke. Oh, there's good teamwork. Over the top to catch the double. Sigma's alone, and the blind fire around the corner. They swing for Impala and can't catch Impala. Do they have time for the defuse?
They should have just enough time to take this map 7-2.
Wow,
crazy
what
plays.
A impressive performance. Olympus have taken the second map against AESIR all season long. That is
bragging rights.
I mean, not what I think anyone expected this afternoon, and I gotta wonder what the folks in chat are thinking right now. What are the vibes in chat off of a 7-2 reversal on map 2 for Olympus? I'm sure people were tuning out after map 1 thinking, this one's done. I'm seeing now, though, as the viewer rate starts to climb back up, the people are circulating the news. Get back in here. This is the third map right now. And I think AESIR are going to come back ferocious in this third map. I think it's going to be an AESIR comfort pick. It's going to be somewhere that they really know well, and Olympus aren't going to have any level of map knowledge advantage at all going into this next pick, because any other map has been, maybe ship, you know what I mean? But I don't think AESIR is going to pick ship. I imagine they're going to go to hideout probably for our third map.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be either a hideout or maybe a skyscraper. Their ship isn't one of their best maps, but I know they are strong on hideout. It's an older map. They know it, but yeah, we weren't expecting anyone to be able to take this map. They took a map against AESIR, the undefeated #1 team. Bragging rights. We saw in the chat, once it started getting around 6-2, people are going, oh, wait, they might take a map against AESIR. And here they are. They took a map, and we're about to go into another round, as it looks like the teams are trying to trade out some players and get resituated to fight a map 3.
Yeah, well, I think they dropped Lima on the Acer side and swapped someone in. I could be wrong. No, I think this has been the roster. Determined, Fear, Tech, right? Yeah,
it looked like Determined just disconnected and came back.
Okay. So, yeah, Determined's here, and so it should be the same. I mean, Acer is bringing their core to this series. And, well, we have a brief moment to shout out the rest of our sponsors that help support the VRML, because there are a bunch of them. Those sponsors include Helga, the esports manager. I don't know if you've seen it, but they've recently come out with a free version only available to VRML players. You have to enter a special code, which is, I have it here, VRML 2024 OKF. When you go and register for a Helga account and you enter that code, you'll get a free version of Helga, which is, again, a esports bot manager. It helps you schedule your games and organize your team's scheduling. It's one of the hardest parts about managing a team, and so it's really nice that there's a bot that helps with it. So do go check that out. Again, it's VRML 2024 OKF. You use that when you create your account, and you'll get a free version of Helga. They have a premium version as well, so do check that out if you have the time. You can also go to their website at team-manager.org. We're also sponsored by HyperX. You're hearing my voice on a HyperX Procast right now. They have fantastic products that offer really great durability and quality. I highly recommend HyperX. You can use code HXVRML24 at checkout for a discount right now. So please do go check that out for any purchase in the North America. We're also sponsored by ProTube VR. They have, in my opinion, the best stock. So I've got my ProTube right here, the mag tube, where you put your controller into the cups and they attach to magnets on the bottom that help stabilize your aim to a stock on your shoulder. It's a really cool tool for any of your favorite VR shooters. I do recommend you check them out and use code ILOVEVRML at checkout right now to get your discount. I think 10% off any purchase over on their site. They got a bunch of stocks too, so do go check them out if you haven't. We really would appreciate the support from you on that end. And I think that is the short list. We also have merch on Exclaim. Do go check that out. We've got a bunch of merch there, and teams have their own stores where they're selling team merch as well. If you want to get stuff for Aspect or maybe even AESIR, head over to Exclaim and check it out. It's a really cool store we have. And if you want to create your own store for your team, you can actually become affiliated with VRML. I think that's all in the info section. I'll have to actually double check where we can get that, where that info is for Exclaim. It's in the announcements, but that's an old announcement, so I don't know. Anyway, we're getting into the action. I've been dragging on too long. We're going into map 2. I'm not even going to run the intro, just straight into the game for round number 1 on map number 3. Excuse me, gosh, I was caught off guard with how quickly we moved into this, but it is Skyscraper for our third map of the afternoon, and if there was ever a defensive advantage to have, it's now on Skyscraper with the Olympus team, right?
Yeah, but we have seen AESIR be very aggressive on this map. They took this map as their home during Season 1. They put in plays that no one was expecting. That's kind of what made their name, so we still have a strong team.
Very strong team, and here comes the push. Swinging through, Dr. Turk getting caught out on the corner there. They'll go down as the fire through the wall. Tries to distract. Determination picks up a nice refrag, and AESIR is down to just 2. At least one gets scooped up there, and look at the coordination from Hotline and Tech as they fly out together to pick off the remaining defenders inside of B site. Tech 9 throwing some foam down. Do they know they're opening up the wall to trouble? Edo gets scooped up with a good Hotline shot, and Hotline tries to catch Brad, but man, what a pistol set for Skyscraper that goes to Olympus. What is happening? Are they going to defeat AESIR for the first time all season? That's the way it's headed. They're up 1-0 on a pistol set. They've got a tie map game. I mean, they're only down by 1 point overall. No, they're actually tied on points overall now, too.
I believe this is their 5th round in a row of a win. 5th round against AESIR, which is crazy. But it was a strong defense there. Their angles were pretty solid, and they went for the early trades. So you got to keep playing the same. We're going to see a little bit of different plays coming out, though, for this round, as Dr. Turk does pull out a early Knut. And don't usually see them second round, but very interesting. It could work against an aggressive team, as it looks like he might have just gotten rid of it.
Might have been a meme. Might have been a meme.
Yeah.
It might have been some pregame memes coming in there on the Olympus side. Maybe they're feeling a little over. Like, Hey, that's a real thing. You can get overconfident in this game and instantly lose your advantage
For sure.
in literally one round. If they lose here, their economy's in bad shape. They don't have. It's like it's very bad if they lose this round right now. So yeah, getting overconfident can lead to some serious score reversals, and well, we'll see if that's the case just yet. It certainly doesn't seem like it because this Olympus team is really being conservative on their investment this round. They're not going too big, although they are investing a little bit into some utility, as we've seen be a main staple so far today for both teams, but neither of those nades caught anyone on AESIR. So for now, AESIR's going to comfortably take server room, albeit a little bit of audio transmitter giving away their movement here.
Yeah, AESIR not playing as aggressive as we've seen them in the past, so they might be still trying to find their tempo here as Olympus is holding on to this defense. They're going to breach in and try to get some picks here, but Dr. Turt's waiting around the corner.
Nade tossed out, smoke comes in. Turt is there, but quickly picked off. A refrag from Edo through the smoke is massive, and Edo's going to come flying out of the smoke. Catches one, refrag by Tech. Determined Fear barreling forward, trying to get rid of the Determination Will off of a great push through the smoke. And AESIR have 3 left alive in the chaos. They find success as Impala's alone. Healthy, certainly could come back with this, with several shots to Tech and Determine is all they need, turning it into a 1v1, but it is a bit of a task ahead of them. Where is the play? AESIR dropping back off an EMP plant, and what a oh, this is what you get when you're at the top. You get good breachers. I love tuning into it, and there's the good bit of coordination from AESIR as they split their defense, catch the the last defender entering in for the retake, and like I said, get a massive round. Fortunately enough, because of how Olympus managed their economy, they're okay going into this round. They didn't buy at all last round, so they're able to full buy here, but that was AESIR stepping up to the challenge, quite frankly, and showing, like we said, what we sort of expect out of them on this round on the attack.
Yeah, the tempo started coming in towards the end of the round. Once they made that breach, that's when we saw the aggressive AESIR team actually start pushing in, but we will be seeing some Vezin fighting coming up in round 3 with a Viper coming out of Dr. Turret, which is a good gun for close quarters, as long as you're not trying to hold the hallways. But if they come around the corner on you, you do have a slight advantage with the speed of the SMG itself. Gadget's coming out pretty heavily on the AESIR team, using those to, again, slow down or create a push. We're going to be seeing AESIR hopefully ramping up here, coming back and seeing that #1 team start fighting back.
Yeah, I do think if there's ever a time, now is that for them to come alive, but Turt's going to shut down any aggression from Tech 9 with a trip mine. They've got a Viper in hand because they didn't overinvest and pick up a rifle. Instead, they went with utility, and it nets them a kill. And that's Olympus a 5v4 advantage, and Turt's still up here being aggressive, looking for some more action. They might find it if they're not lucky enough, and yeah, it will get caught to the back there as Sigma will get rid of that aggressive roamer, and AESIR regain a little bit of sense of control around the objective site.
I would like to point out, too, I don't think that was a trip mine. I think that was a well-placed grenade out the window that got him. Because there are 2 trip mines still in play. Ito just taking out Lone Sigma, though.
Interesting. Well, hey, a nade even more impressive than to be catching out the kills as AESIR are getting pinched on the attack, having a hard time backing off this defense. They do get 1, so it's a 2v3, but still advantage into the Olympus hands. They've got nice control over B. No walls have been opened yet. A site, probably the main suspect this afternoon for AESIR to push, but they still don't have anything to push with. They've got the foam down on the wall, I suppose. Nade comes in, a nice toss through the hatch that does do half damage to Determination, and now they've opened up B site. It's up to Plunge and Hotline. Again, the final survivors to clutch this round as Plunge, likely always going to be the last one alive, using the drone, won't find the headshot onto the Determination. Bravadabato and Determination will push in, and the duo battles against Hotline as Hotline gets the EMP plant. They need the money. They can't afford to not have it if they lose. And so it's worth investing a bit of resources into planting it. Determination, unaware of where Hotline's rotated, without a health syringe, low on HP, tucks into a beautiful corner, but pop goes the weasel, and Hotline finds the headshot. Down goes Determination, and AESIR, another big round. This one probably bigger than the last one, because now Olympus have nothing to buy into this round. I mean, yeah, this could be the snowball that you really got to avoid when you go up against AESIR.
Yeah, this is going to be where we see the economy coming into play. Like Breachers, that's another big thing to pay attention to. It's kind of like other not VR games, but computer games like Counter-Strike and Valorant. You got to pay attention to that economy so you know what you have for next round, because now you're playing with just about nothing while the other team's able to full buy their best loadouts. We did see AESIR use up all their utility really quick last round, which almost put them in a bind towards the end when it came down to 1v1. A grenade there or some kind of smoke grenade or something could have slowed down Olympus a little bit more and gave them more advantage. But Olympus still fighting back, still holding strong as we're up with AESIR 2-1.
What a series to tune into, and Rip, again, not what I think I expected or you expected when we
No.
jumped into this one. I didn't think we'd be at a map 3 deciding this series with a scoreline that's almost even between these two teams, but it's what it is this afternoon, and hats off to Olympus for playing as well as they have, for stepping up to the challenge of AESIR, and quite frankly, for looking like a threat to any team that's going to be playing against them in the top 8, and that's really what you want to achieve. You don't want to have teams come in overconfident against you, although maybe that can help sometimes. Either way, AESIR definitely not one of those teams that's going to misread their opponent and is taking things seriously as Determined Fear barrels into the server site, catches the headshot. They're looking much more confident, much smoother on this entry. They know their opponents only have pistols in their hands, and they're not too afraid. As Hotline 180 spins to catch the headshot there onto the Determination to survive what was 3 shots to the back from a Spectral, but no headshots. And AESIR in a very fast round. Let's get rid of that, they say. We know you're on pistols. We got our full kits. Let's just go ahead to the next one where you're going to be able to full buy and be a little bit more of a contest. It kind of makes me feel like maybe the weak point, if there ever was one for AESIR, is in the pistol mid-tier sort of eco space. You know, when they're fully kitted, they seem to be really comfortable. But when it's in those early pistol rounds, there is a little bit, obviously it's a little bit more of an equalizer, but Olympus have succeeded on those stages, more often than not in this series. And I think, again, that's why they have been able to fight as good against AESIR as they have. We'll see if that's the trend, if AESIR are just going to kind of steamroll over Olympus now as they have the kits, or maybe Olympus can fight back. They did fight back on Factory, so I don't know. You know, it's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of tuning in this afternoon, is we don't know, Rip. It is a big, a game that shouldn't have been a question mark is a question mark this afternoon.
Correct. Yeah, it's definitely, we're seeing the number 1 undefeated team lose a map to the number 8 team, which no one thought, but economy is going to make a huge difference here, and AESIR is starting to feel a little bit more confident as they go into this push.
Drone work being done by Plunge, as they are the team droner. I think my next video will be with Plunge will be about drone work and tips and tricks for drone navigation, how to survive as long as you can, what information you're looking for when you're droning. I mean, it's a important role, and it can really net yourself you can net your team a lot more confidence on their approach. Tech9 going down again early. I think I missed that while we were watching the drone work, but they vaulted in and landed right onto a static emitter and then got shot. So very nice job there. B site completely cracked open. Smokes and utility all here and present, and angles set up to try and deny Impala vision, but ultimately not doing really much of anything as Impala swings for the double. Sigma and Hotline alone. Hotline again, 1 of 2 remaining alive on their team. And a 2v4. Olympus to take this one would be huge. Again, it's AESIR with the economic advantage. Oh, but there's some big connections from Hotline. A double. Brabatabato on the backside evens things out to a 1v1. And again, we're into a 1v1 with 1:30 left. It's Hotline with a Marui in their hands against Brab and the Vezin. A real test of which rifle is meta as we do get into this final 1v1. Where's the EMP is my question.
It is going to be over there on Brabadaba's side. It is not. It's on the wall, but is not completely planted.
Oh, that's why, and that's why Brab is tucked in there. They're playing this EMP right now. Minute left though is a lot of time. Ooh, nice That's a huge transmitter. Because Hotline was going to rotate and have a nice surprise for Brab on the flank. But that threat does rotate Brab off of their tucked-in corner position. Does allow a little bit more time for Hotline to maybe get this EMP plant. Are they going to try and stick it? No, they're not. They're going to connect with a shot over the top. They're going to get the EMP plant. They're going to go up 4-1. They're going to have economy well under their control, and they're going to be looking to take this first half 5-1 going into this next round.
A lot of patience coming out of both players for that 1v1, just waiting for that perfect opportunity. Brabadaba had a really great angle. The EMP was right there in front of him. He just had to wait for that sound, but Hotline able to use the sound to bait him into a kill. Very aggressive plays there by AESIR, and Olympus is able to kind of shut them down at the initial start, but they're not consistent enough to finish them off towards the end.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down again, maybe more 2v1 situations or trying to play together as a team and not getting picked off on the 1v1s.
I mean, that's the challenge of going up against AESIR is that they are all very good shooters. You're not going to find a 1v1 that's going to be, that's their, not the even plunge. Again, doing all the drone work, being that last attacker. They're still a standout shooter. They're still connecting on some big kills this afternoon. So you can't put out anyone on the AESIR team. And quite frankly, you can't do that on Olympus either. Everyone's playing pretty well this afternoon. Obviously, for us to be on a game 3 between AESIR and Olympus, it's, these two teams are duking it out here today. So fun to tune into. Happy we're here. Happy everyone else is stopping by and hanging out. Please do hit that subscribe button if you can. We would appreciate that. Also, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. It helps support the stream and get us out to more folks that don't know about Breacher's VRML just yet. You also should see some new in-game ads coming soon. That'll be promoting the YouTube channel and VRML Con, so we hope you enjoy those. And maybe we'll see some more new faces coming in over the course of the next few weeks. But regardless of if they're new or not, they're going to be tuning into good quality action like this. AESIR and Olympus, top teams in the North American region for VRML, battling it out for a chance to be 1 and 2 and advance on to North America for VRML Con later this season. Are absolutely brawling here as Determination catches a double outside of A. It's a 3v3 off of utility. Come flying in, doesn't go far enough. Hotline survives another nade. That one not quite where they needed it to be. Gonna leave a slice there for Hotline to peek if they want it. But the 3v3 is still here. Good defense from AESIR as they hold off what would have been a swing in. Determination pops out for a little bit of a peekaboo and a headshot. And it puts it into a 2v3. Olympus could put their second point on the board. They need at least 2 on defense here because, again, Skyscraper kind of defensive-sided, but obviously not when AESIR plays it. They are very good at the offensive sets here. 1:30 left. What is the timing? What is the play? When are they going to move in on the AESIR side?
I believe they're waiting for a mistake peek or something here to be able to push in. That smoke grenade coming in will probably allow them to push in.
Oh. There it is. There's your opener. Determination goes down, turns into a 1v1. Hotline tries to swing through the smoke and gets information. Identifies Mr. Stewart's location. We'll ping that out. The audio transmitter prompts the peek and plunge. Almost clutching the map there, or excuse me, the round. But Edo finds the second point. Olympus put 2 on the board. And I'm seeing a lot of if AESIR wins situations unfolding in chat, and I can assure you that none of those will come true. Okay, it's not this isn't dreamland, all right? We don't make your wishes come true. What we do deliver to you is good quality esports action, and that's what we got this afternoon, quite frankly. I mean, this is Olympus stepping up to a tremendous challenge against AESIR, and AESIR finding that this Olympus team is maybe a little bit more than they were ready for. That map 2 definitely didn't go their way, and even now on Skyscraper, 4-2, I guess it is pretty impressive on the AESIR side. To go 4-2 on the attack on Skyscraper is not easy.
Right, correct. And we're going to see them going into the reset here. And Olympus has had great success on these pistol rounds. Yeah. If they can come up with another win off this pistol round, putting 2 rounds in a row, grabbing that momentum, they have a chance to fight back. But AESIR only needing 3 more rounds to take the map. This is an exciting game, though. Look, we did not see Olympus being able to do this, and that's the great thing about VRML and Breachers, right? Anyone can learn to play it. Anyone can become good at it, and we're seeing this right now.
We really are. A exciting matchup, and Olympus getting their attack on now as the EMP gets tossed forward. Brad saying, I'm going to send it. So I don't want the EMP to be up there when I die. At least that's what I anticipate the EMP toss away to mean, but maybe they also just don't want to plant the EMP and want to be a little bit more on the back line. Either way, it is a bit of a patient Olympus offense. They are not overextending. They're really waiting to see if AESIR is going to get aggressive, because why wouldn't they? AESIR has been playing pretty dang aggressive so far today. What's going to change now? Turt catches a good kill on Determined Fear, and Olympus are off to, again, an early advantage.
And we're seeing that AESIR team able to get those early kills, or, well, early death there. Olympus getting the early kills there and able to make something work. As Lone Sigma gets a Trip Mine kill and Determination trading onto Lone Sigma. Tech 9 trading onto Determination. So a lot of good trades coming out of here. But with Plunge onto Ito.
Out there, and now Tech 9 going to try and swing up. They've got a little bit of a setup where they're pinching in on this Olympus offense. They've got the back end coming through, and there's the double kill. Hotline and Plunge coming together for the 1-2 punch. And AESIR having to work really hard for these rounds. There's no easy ones that are getting laid up today on Skyscraper, and a big one nonetheless, though. A pistol round in their hands. Now they can invest, and they're not afraid to go big on Skyscraper when they're in defense. 2 rifles and a Canutt might be the buy, or at least 2 rifles seems to be the play here. And normally you don't see teams at this stage anymore really commit to double rifle buys. It typically is a single rifle buy just to be extra cautious, you know?
Yeah, but AESIR team's probably feeling pretty overconfident, not overconfident, but pretty confident right now in their defense on Skyscraper. It has been their map in the past. Knowing that Olympus has to fight them with pistols gives them a little bit more of an advantage to try to wrap things up quicker. They only need 2 more rounds, and they're probably going to want those rounds as quick as they can. But Olympus, my brain having a brain fart earlier, Olympus on the attacking side, great job at getting in there and getting that early kill onto the defense. That's what they need. Those utility kills worked out really well for them on Arctic, and they need to bring that same energy here at the Skyscraper.
Yeah, they really do. They are kitted with utility this afternoon in this round. Immolation and double frag in their hands. They've got the foam, they've got the smokes, and wow, Brab popping up and catching a couple of eyes onto some defenders inside server room. It's not going to be a safe entry for anyone down through this hatch, but Impala is going to still try their hand at it. Maybe hopefully looking to catch the kill onto Hotline off of the peak, but Hotline will drop back, and Lone is tucked in. There's a nade that's prepped, and it comes out and up and over, and Determination can't get back in time. Impala was there, and another counter nade comes to half health. Impala, Hotline follows up with it and will finish off the remaining HP from Impala. Good bit of 1-2 there. That puts Olympus down 3 players early, and, well, they're certainly not going to go server room now. Brab and Dr. Turd are alone, reassessing their entry. A 2v3 with 2 rifles and a health syringe doesn't look too good for Olympus right now.
2v4, so it's a little bit,
right.
a little bit even more dangerous. But yeah, at this point, you have to rotate and try to make some kind of pick happen your way, and then push on to that. Try to get AESIR to make some kind of mistake, which you're not going to see AESIR make many of those. Nope. But try to play an advantage to that.
Almost no mistakes really coming. I mean, I guess I feel like that whole second map was a mistake from AESIR, but not often do you really see them, as Olympus is going to push down here. We'll eventually run into some defenders and ultimately lose the engagement. Nade comes down, doesn't find much. Turt putting up the white flag of surrender to their opponent there, and yeah, what are they going to do? Try and throw an immolation nade, not do much. Look at everyone pushed up here. Just trying to get the nade an angle on the Dr. Turt. 39 seconds left. You can't vault up and over on defense. You're actually blocked, so they won't be able to get up there.
If only Turt had one grenade that he could try to place perfectly.
Oh, I know. Yeah, right? A nice little brawl. Looks like they're spelling something. I don't know what. Don't attack me. Let me live.
Nope. It almost looked like an SOS.
Either way, they won't get another round just yet. They almost have their hand almost. That was really close, but it's not going to connect. It will be AESIR coming up to series point, though. 6-2 off of a solid defensive round. They need one more to lock in the entire series win. If you are just tuning in, you might be wondering why we're on a third map. Because AESIR, notorious for kind of running away with things in 2. It has been an impressive performance. Olympus losing map 1 7-1, taking map 2 7-2, and now finding a tough spot for them 6-2 in map 3. It was close for a while here on Skyscraper. It really was. And if anything, I mean, it's not over yet. They could tie the series. If they can put 4 points in a row, they'll tie the map, and that'll be a series tie, which would be, I think, the first tie for AESIR. Or did they tie the first game against Aspect? No.
I think it was, but then something happened and things got overturned.
Okay. Well, their first official documented recorded tie.
Official, yeah.
Yeah, official tie. There you go. Is still on the table if Olympus have anything to say about it, but they don't have a whole lot to say about it with their kits that they are bringing this afternoon into this round. The Viper, SMG, 2 Vezins, and Determined Fear getting confident, peeking out the window, scooping up a kill. Brab getting caught on the rappel there. It is one of the risks. You are kind of exposed when you're rappelling down a wall. Some teams have found that they can peek out and catch that vulnerability. And AESIR are going to be one of those teams that knows all of those potential vulnerabilities and use them to their advantage. So no surprise, again, that they have stepped up, really, this AESIR team kind of locking it in. Having a tough time still on their offensive set, but, you know, doing a nice job of fighting back against this Olympus team, and an early kill really does set them up quite nice against Olympus. Edo's going to come over here and join Determination. The audio transmitter kind of gives away the idea that they're rotating to the bathroom, but at least Turt evens the odds down to a 4v4.
Very slow play coming out of this team as he's able to get a grenade kill on Dr. Turt.
Interesting. Didn't catch that nade toss, was focused here as the Impala tries to rotate on the backside, goes down. Edo, worried about the flank, has to check it. And while they do, they're exposed and they go down. Determination alone now, very likely to get pushed and pinched, and knows the threat is coming but can't get away in time. And AESIR, off of a awkward map 2 loss, come back confidently and strong and take map 3 7-2.
Yeah, and I mean, don't be discouraged here, Olympus. You're able to take a map against the #1 undefeated team. Yeah. That's a huge deal. Even if AESIR wasn't playing 100% the way they do, or whatever happened on that map, y'all created that opportunity. You kept their economy in check and were able to push it and take a map 7-2 against a undefeated team, a top 3 team, the #1 team. So learn from that experience and push forward, and plays like that, we'll see you back in the top.
Really fun series to tune into here this afternoon. Happy that everyone stopped by and was able to enjoy it. Hopefully you had a good time here today. If you are new, hit the subscribe button. We've got more of this action for 5 more weeks of regular season, and then obviously postseason. So really 5, 6, 7, and then the finals. There's a lot of breachers left ahead of us in this season, so do subscribe and come back for more, because there will be more. And I think that's it for us here on the desk. A shout out to the teams, AESIR and Olympus. Fun match to tune into. My name has been Nightfire with 2 E's. My co-caster Rip the Cord. We'll see you all next time. Until then, stay classy. Reacher's VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.